Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Lee Jennings from Emo-Rock band The Funeral Portrait.
Howdy. What's up, y'all?
I traded my name to a torture state, so I ran and broke a leg, but I felt brave enough to rule the world. One time, buried I sleep in a bag of bones. No, mama don't think I'll be coming home, 'cause I woke up so I could rule the world. One time. Now, through the church in the center with the song stuck in your head. And holding the holy water. I'm a priest in the prayer. I'm like a savior. Just like I'm holding the holy water.
I wanted to dig into some of your history. What age did you get into music?
Oh my. Hmm. I don't think we have that much time to go through the whole thing, but no. So basically, so I got into music pretty young. Probably in elementary school was when I learned that I had a voice. My high school. My God, wow, Lee. My elementary school choir teacher. He was like extremely good, like the best that like ever existed, like would teach like kindergartners how to sing in Latin. You know what I mean? Like insane stuff. So for me, I think it just gave me that. I finally kind of had my thing, and I found my thing very early on. I know like most people, they even are kind of like still finding their thing in their 30s or 40s, you know. And I was very lucky to like in elementary school to know that like my thing is going to be singing. Did I know that it was going to be in the band realm? You know, no, not at all. You know, I grew up doing, you know, musical theater. I went to a whole like what we would call a magnet program for high school for musical theater, and that's what I loved. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to, you know, Cincinnati Conservatory of Music or whatever it may be to do musical theater or opera or classical voice or choir work or whatever. And it just never, I still never felt truly like it was me. I just always felt like something else was missing. And so when I got the opportunity to kind of start getting into punk rock or rock music in general, I was like, wait a second. I could do that, you know? And so it kind of evolved and I started a band, a band, let's put it that way, and just started going to local shows and helping out at my local venue that we had. We had like a 300 cap local venue about 10 minutes away from me and here in the suburbs of Atlanta. And like, I mean, I was there every Friday and Saturday night for probably 5 years. You know, like that was either seeing the show or working the show or whatever I could. You know, I was like the 14-year-old kid that would like book some of these bands through MySpace, and like these, you know, 30-year-old dudes would come up, be like, "You're the promoter." And I'm like, yes, like here's your money. Thanks for playing. You know, like I and I was also 18 years old, making a good bit of money being a promoter here locally. And it was wild. It was like a weird time in the music scene. But, you know, MySpace ruled the world then. So that's basically my history all in I don't know, that was maybe a 2-minute conversation there. So that's the easiest I could dumb it down to. So
Who would you say are some of your musical influences as far as voice and stuff?
you know, it's great that you asked me that. I actually get to go see probably my biggest like idol or my biggest like version of me that I like like the most, I guess, or person that I like the most is Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance. I think, and I get to go see them tonight in Nashville, which is like wild to me. So, because I never thought I was going to see them again. And I think growing up, the reason why I connected with that band is because they were kind of for the underdogs. They were for the kids that just like really didn't fit in. And it was true. Back then, especially, it didn't seem like a marketing ploy, even if it really was, I guess, but I it didn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it was. It's not like now where I see some of these like TikTok artists that no shade. I'm not trying to shade the whole TikTok world because it can change lives, and it's changed so many lives for the better. And discovery of new music is kind of back, but I think a lot of it is still marketing ployed. Like these people that like weren't made fun of in school and everything kind of get this like massive platform to make rock music that just doesn't. I don't know, man. I was so made fun of, for liking My Chemical Romance. I was so made fun of for liking any kind of rock music or wearing skinny jeans or wearing if I wore this outfit, like listen, if I wore this outfit of my shorts and my shirt, my dragon shirt out and about, I would have gotten made fun of so hard in high school. And I did, like those are this is what I looked like in high school, and so I I remember that. And so for me, I always try and still to this day connect to that and to connect to the people, not just the kids, but to even the older people that just don't seem to fit in with like the regular thing that's like happening at the moment.
Can you tell me how the band formed?
So, basically all the way back in 2014, I started the band with basically a completely different lineup. These guys were the original band members. They were very driven and they really wanted it. They were probably the most driven people in my local scene that I could find. We then signed to a record label that took us on a few tours with their band, and it kind of started going really, really well. And then it kind of felt like everybody else wanted something different than what I wanted in my brain, in my vision, I guess you could say. And I tried really hard not to be like a dictator or someone that was just like, this is my band, because that's not how it works. That is just not how it works. You will end up alone and scared and it just won't work for you if you act that way. So it just came out to be, I kind of gave them more of what they wanted for our first full length record. And it didn't do well. It didn't do well at all. I think our original fans wanted what the EP kind of sounded like, and it kind of lost what made the Funeral Portrait kind of special at the time. And so, excuse me. Oh God. And so basically, I I kind of was just like, okay, well, where are we at with this? And everybody, I think the original members, they kind of just wanted to do something different, and so they all left and started kind of like a new band, and they played a few shows, and I don't think anything ever fully came of it. But I think they also kind of wanted to go and do like something else. I think they all kind of wanted to live their lives, not touring in a van, playing to, at the time, 5 kids a night, 10 kids a night, on headlining shows. And so I think for us, but I was like, I'm not, this is me. I was like, I've worked so hard to get here, and this was a few years ago, when all these guys left. And so basically I I found people who I knew kind of in the scene, not here locally, but around the whole US that really wanted this. And so brought those guys in, and that's Rob and Homer were the first two to join, my drummer and my bass player. And those two dudes have been with me for 5 years now. So basically, I treat TFP 1.0 as the original lineup. TFP 2.0 is this kind of new, and it's so new to me, but it's really not. I mean, we've been together for like 5 years now, and we've been working really hard since then. And so we started releasing songs, and then independently, and kind of we got off the old label. It just wasn't the right fit. And then we independently released a few songs, and then Holy Water hit, and then we got signed to a cool new label, and now we're here. It's like it's a weird world. Such a weird world now. So
How did you come up with the band name?
we were thinking, so originally the original lineup consisted of another band that we were called Cosmoscope at the time, and we were like, that name is, and listen, the Funeral Portrait is a very long name, and there is people out there that's like, that's a bad band name, but I'm like, exactly, I'm into something that you can remember. Like I think if you use, the word, and then this is no shade to any of these bands, but like there's so many band names out there that use the words like awaken it, or like last, or like I don't know, I could keep going on and on about those. For us, we're like, who's dumb enough to name their band the Funeral Portrait? I guess it's us. So, and we liked the idea of using just like three letters at some points, of just being like TFP. I think that was a cool idea. And so, because I grew up loving like AFI and like POD and stuff like that, and I was, or him, even him is like, is shortened. And so for me, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like we could use that. So we were just thinking of names, and it's from this band called Opeth. They have a song called The Funeral Portrait. And we were just really just throwing out names. We were like, yo, like this, because at the time we were like really into proggy kind of more stuff, and that band's like the kings of that. So we were like, okay, this works. I also, there was one other name, which I'll throw. I don't think I've ever talked about. There's a name called, I think it was the Midnight Society. I think that's the name that I was thinking. And it just, there was like a rapper named it, but like he wasn't active. But it was kind of like, we want to just do something that's completely us. So, and it's been cool. I mean, it sticks.
What city is your band based out of?
We are based out of Atlanta, Georgia, but we have members that live in St. Louis. We've got members that live in Rochester, New York. We even have our drummer Homer is originally from this small town of Hoopeston, Illinois, which is about 2 hours south of Chicago. So very small town, like small town. And we actually got to play there. Our first show back from COVID was in Hoopeston, Illinois at their Sweet Corn Festival, which was, we played on the back of like a 18-wheeler truck bed, like just jammed. I mean, it was great. I mean, we honestly couldn't have asked for a better like return show from COVID, and that was sick. But yeah, so we're from everywhere, but I'm from right here, so we just say here, and most of the time the guys just fly in here, and we practice here. We our home base is here, let's put it that way.
I wanted to dig in a couple of your songs. You had Holy Water. It was released July 2019. And when you were writing that song, were you thinking about using like a choir in that song?
Yeah, so basically that was in the process of, what do we really want to sound like, what do we really want to do, like what was the vibe, what was everything. And so we came up with 4 or 5 other songs, and one of them we released was Paper Mache Man. The other one was Flowers in the Attic, and the other songs won't ever probably see the light of day. But then we had Holy Water. We released Holy Water while we were out on tour from Ashes to New, and we had I think we released it the day that we played Incarceration Festival in Ohio. And we were like, because we knew that this song was like the most, I don't like to use the word active rock, but it's the most like active rocky kind of undertone rock kind of song that we've ever done. So we were like, this is the perfect time to do this. And so happens that we did it, and it just worked. And with the choir and everything, that's actually the singer of this band called A Light Divided, JC. She's awesome. I love her. And it just so happened What it was is we were in the studio working on the song, and literally the next day after us, she was coming in with her band to work with the same producers. And Josh, the guy that we were working with, he was like, I'm gonna get her to sing these parts instead of you. And we kind of like mixed them together and made this like choir and everything. So it was cool. And she's still like, we went to go re-record the whole record. Um, when Better Noise stepped in, and she's still on it and everything. So it's pretty cool. I'm super hyped on how it turned out.
Bow down to the church in the center with the song stuck in your head. Holy, oh, holy water. I'm a priest and a prayer. I'm like a savior, just like I'm holy, holy, oh, holy water. Holy, your holy water. Holy, your holy water. Holy, your holy water.
You released Paper Mache Man May 2019, and I love the dynamics in the song, and I was wondering, who is the Paper Mache Man?
So basically, the whole idea with Paper Mache Man was I've been told my whole life that I am too fat, basically, to be a rock star, right? And I'm too big. I'm too, rock stars or skinny white men, like, and it's just like, man, that's just silly to me. That's absolutely silly, and I absolutely hate that. So I decided to finally write a song about that, and at the time I was pushing 300 pounds. I was about to be 300 pounds, if not 300 pounds at certain times, where we'd be in the studio, and it was right across the street from like an ice cream shop. And I would stop 3 times a day to go get ice cream. Exactly. It was a problem. At that point, I had a problem. I was eating, I wasn't exercising. There was nothing in me that was doing anything healthy to better myself, to better the band, to better my life, to better anybody else's lives, and so I decided, that song kind of was the force to change, of being like, yes, I know that this is not okay to say stuff like that to people, but you still need to be healthy, and you still need to love yourself, and you still need to be who you are. And that's something that I lost, because of certain things that happened in my life. But this is, that was kind of the force to change song. And, I didn't really listen to it until about COVID hit, because I always felt like I was too busy. Always felt like things were just, oh, I'm too busy to get healthy, or I'm too busy to go to the gym. I'm too busy to do a diet or something, and so it's cool to like you bringing up these songs and just being like, oh, that's where I was in this life. That's where I was. So that's the whole vibe.
Rest in peace, time is running out. Journey into light. Rearrange the paper with the pen. I won't blink for your emotions. I'm so high, I'm falling down. Still in stain, there still remains of me. I'm away, the paper machine man. Turn my teeth to fighting me myself.
You guys just released Voodoo Doll, and I was wondering if you could just tell me a little bit about that song.
We finally released a song, as you can't tell. 3 years in the making, and that's because of COVID. I mean, it screwed so much up, and it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, things happen for a reason. Um, but we get it out and it's fine and it's fun and I'm happy and I'm so excited. But basically, that's me telling myself to calm down before I freak out that it's actually out. So, but no, so Voodoo Doll, we were in the studio. This was January 2020, I believe. We were in the studio in New Orleans, and our producer, or one of our producers, Josh Landry, he is incredible, by the way, just absolutely incredible. But he is from New Orleans, and the whole vibe down there is just this, like, it's New Orleans, like it's the vibe, and so we really we were trying to actually record the whole entire record down in New Orleans. We were going to rent like a studio there and kind of do the whole thing, and it just didn't work out because of COVID. We were there in January, and on his wall he had this little voodoo doll, and I was like, this song, because we were trying to just think. We were just like, what are ideas for songs? And I was just like, like, look at where we are. Like let's just go and look. And so we did. We went down to the, like the French Quarter and all that kind of stuff and just walked around and just were like, this is it. Like, we need to bring this to the whole experience, because basically I think I had just went through like a pretty traumatic um breakup, and I know Josh did as well, and a lot of our band members actually kind of at the same time went through this massive life change with our partners, and it kind of just was like, what can we do to kind of envision that, and so we used a lot of imagery in the lyrics of not just drug abuse, because there is some of that in some people's past relationships, but also I think it was about you hurting yourself and that it hurting others, of kind of like a voodoo doll, like you, but you're kind of the voodoo doll, and that your actions can hurt other people, not just yourself. And you have to learn how to kind of move it around so that way your feelings and what you do to better yourself and better other people, so you don't hurt them anymore, and that's kind of the whole idea.
It's an elephant's room, cause I know what you're thinking. It's the burn in my veins when I know you've been using. Your pretty white lies might hide the bruises, but you and I know what the ugly truth is. And the needle speaks, taking you from me. I can hear you fall, feel you hit the wall. So when you're pushing pins underneath your skin, I can feel it all. Yeah, I can feel it all. When the needle speaks, taking you from me, I can hear you fall, feel you hit the wall. So when you're pushing pins underneath your skin, I can feel it all. You are my voodoo doll. Every time you fall, I can
What do you guys got planned for the rest of 2022?
Unfortunately, it's kind of been kind of crazy, because basically everything has been relied on releasing songs, right? So for us, this is just kind of the first song, and this was not even like, to be honest, this when we had the record presented to the label, this wasn't even like supposed to really be a single. This was just, I think what we're trying to do right now is just release some material and just get to be active again. So hopefully another song by the end of the year, And then before that, though, I believe we are going on tour. It's literally going to get announced here very soon. We're going on tour with this band called Kingdom Collapse and Dead Posey. So we're gonna do basically it's almost full US, I believe. I don't think it comes super far on the West Coast, but it's it's a long one. It's like a month and a half, I believe. So we're getting ready to announce those dates in a day or two, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. So it's gonna be sick though.
And when will the new album be out?
Early next year at some point. So probably in the spring, is my guess. And again, all of this kind of stuff for a new band I say new because for us, we are new because this is a whole different ball game now. We're stepping up to the big leagues, and so for us, we need a tour. We need something bigger, some kind of bigger tour to help push the record. And so we have an incredible agent, we have incredible managers, and we have this incredible label. It's just finding the right fit. We need to be out with someone like Iceland Kills or someone like Ghost or someone like Motionless or I think there's those kind of the more darker bands that our band would do extremely well with. So we'll see though, that kind of stuff, it takes time and it takes relationships, and so for right now, we're just going to release some songs and at some point next year, the record's going to come out. It could, it depends. If we get a big tour in the fall of next year, it could, throughout the year, we'll definitely release singles and stuff like that. But it could come out fall of next year, or even winter of next year. It just depends. Or who knows? Maybe we land something in January and it's like, oh, let's release it. Let's release it, So it all depends. But I hope sooner than later. Let's put it that way.
How can we get a hold of you guys? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
It literally, this is why I made our band name this way. Literally just type in The Funeral Portrait on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's it. Spotify, you know what I mean? Like Spotify, YouTube, everything, So literally just type in The Funeral Portrait and you'll see dude with green hair and it's then you're at the right place.
That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Hey, thank you. Like this is awesome. I love doing these. So the more the merrier. So hopefully we can do this again when we release another song.
For your emotions, I'm so high, I'm falling down. I wanna feel